This brings us to my career. Your girl ain't never thought that she was good enough for a career, and it started in high school. I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD until this year, actually, but I always knew the girl wasn't. I knew I wasn't neurotypical. I've always felt very diverse in mentality and how I perceive things. It was easier for me to get work done when I had someone else with me. So when I went to a Christian school for middle school, it was great because I had small classes, like 15 people, less than that more times than not, and a teacher who, would be able to curate the class to, their students. Don't really get that in public school full of like 30 kids, sometimes more. And then even prior to that, I was a Boys and Girls Club kid. So after school, you always have people who would sit with you, and I wasn't allowed to leave the homework area, so I finished my homework, yada, yada. As I got older, I realized that it became a little bit harder. But it also became harder because I ended up in a relationship, and my attention clearly would go what was most exciting, and it was definitely that relationship at the time, and trying to please that person a lot as well. Trying to be like super available, such like that. But it became more prominent to me in college because I knew what I wanted to go to school for. I wanted to go to school for communications and or journalism. I knew from rip that your girl was meant to talk, okay? I was supposed to be behind someone's camera with the lights shining at me, And my West African parents told me, girl, try again. I was like, I'm a creative. And it was like, you had to creatively get into a hobby. What is this? You're going to go to school for exercise science, go to get your grad degree in physical therapy, you're going to make some bread and go from there. And I'm like, I don't really like that for me. And I stopped doing so well in school. Not even that, I had crazy panic attacks in school, in college. There were just so many things happening socially and didn't think smart enough. I just remember having literally panic attacks and running out of seminars. Like running out of seminars into the middle of the street, having panic attacks and having to call my therapist. And from there, like the insecurity really started because I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because number one, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I felt so purposeless, which led me into a deep depression, which brought me to There's Always Tuesday. And There's Always Tuesday was my first baby. There's Always Tuesday, and I'm trying not to call them babies, but it was my first purpose-driven project like that. And There's Always Tuesday was a play off my name. I have, my father's from Ghana. For every day of the week, there's a different set of names. My name is for Tuesday, and at the time I was going by Tuesday's Tale, like tale as in like she always got a story, because I always had a story, you feel me? And so with There's Always Tuesday, because Tuesday was such an overarching theme in my life, one day it dawned on me that if every day felt like a bad Monday, there's always Tuesday. In reference to, I felt purposeless. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in college for something I didn't want to go for. I wasn't doing well in it because of that, which was taking a hit on my self-esteem. Because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't do well in life. Like, what is going on? And There's Always Tuesday, I started doing videos every week, every Tuesday, doing Snapchat videos, talking to people about my journey with anxiety and depression, which was amazing because doing all that, I became a blogger, which, to be fair, I had already been blogging. I started blogging. To be honest, I started blogging in elementary in Xanga. My mom had no idea, on Xanga.com. But we fast forward, I had a WordPress site, the days after Monday, always on it. The days after Monday.wordpress.com. But I ended up turning that into an actual website, there's always Tuesday.com, where I gave resources and motivated people, encouraged them. Found I really loved it. Found I really loved marketing. We already acknowledged that I wanted to do marketing from the beginning. So I started putting that into a hobby. And in doing that, a friend's mom reached out to me and said, you should apply to this nail salon. She needs a pedicure person. I know you're not big on that, but I think that you would be really great for the essence of the place. Sure, got into it. Told the owner, if you let me find someone to replace me and I can get two people that you also need, like a wax person and a hair person, you should let me be the marketing assistant. And you know what? I did it. It worked out. Had a great turnout. From there, I started living out my dreams in that. Ended up graduating college a year later. Got to go to Atlanta. Started as a freelancer. Got a job, a corporate job. And also, at the time I actually wanted to be a publicist, but I started doing marketing and publicist work for a brand at the time, and that was like super awesome and super fun. And all of that, I always felt like I wasn't good enough for all the things I was doing. So I would get these opportunities that would require me having to give up the job that I had that I didn't really want to do. I was working like a corporate sales job, didn't really like it, technology, and I would get all these opportunities to be like a marketing manager for agencies, but I thought that I wasn't good enough, so I would self-sabotage it, right? Which ended up causing me to eventually, because I had so much regret and remorse for that situation, I ended up jumping into a situation as tour manager assistant, which was an amazing experience, but I don't think I was called to do it the way that I did it. I was trying to balance both that and a career, and it was a lot because I was flying out after my job, super tired, while still doing marketing for myself, doing marketing for the agency. It was just so much going on, and that ended up creating an insecurity in me and thinking like, oh, you suck at all this, when it was really that I was putting too many eggs in one basket and putting too much on myself. And in time, I ended up having to let go. I ended up leaving a corporate sales job for a job as a recruiter. End up leaving that job and deciding, no, I'm gonna do full-time entrepreneurship. And guess what? I actually made great money. I did well for the first beginning, but I couldn't enjoy it because I was so depressed and anxious from all the things that happened to me before. And so again, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm too messy for all these things. I couldn't do it when I had a job. I couldn't do it then, but it made me realize, no, you just were focused on too many different things at once. And I'm telling you guys that to tell you that oftentimes you have to change the stories you're telling yourself. Fast forward, I decided to say, I want to start over, move back home, and I end up getting a job as a substitute teacher because the job was supposed to get fell through, which didn't help what I was already thinking. And in that, I ended up realizing that I love teaching. I started a substitute, and they're like, you know what, you're so good at this. Can you stay? And I was like, I ain't got nothing else to do. So I ended up staying, whatever, being a permanent teacher. I actually decided to go to school to get my master's in teaching, and then pandemic hit, and that was crazy. But after, the irony is, 2 weeks later, the job that I got hired for called me and said, hey, would you be willing to start again with us? And it was a hospital, and I ended up finishing out my contract as teacher and took that job, and I've been doing that since. And since then, I did some social media and marketing work again, enjoyed it, but again, I was doing too much at one time. I was doing that part-time and doing my full-time job, and then I at some point decided, you know what, I enjoy my full-time job. I enjoy it in the sense that it wasn't what I thought I would like for myself, but it provides me a lot of grace and freedom to do other things without feeling so stressed. It allowed me to see that my gift is encouraging. So I was able to create my Echo deck, which you can get in the link in the bio, shameless plug. And it taught me something really magical, which was that if you are so stuck in what you wanted in the past, you're not going to be able to see what's right in front of your future. You're going to be trying to make up for every single thing that you thought you did wrong back then. Everything you thought you did wrong in your first couple jobs maybe, or in school and on this. And it's like, no, you just didn't have the right keys. You didn't have the right keys. Now I know I have ADHD, so I know what strategies I need to create. I know that I probably should just focus my attention on one thing and then break up everything else in smaller parts. I know I shouldn't put so much on myself. But I learned that I was messy, but I wasn't messy enough to succeed. I just had to change what my idea of success was. I had to change what I thought was possible for me. And because of that, I've been able to lean on so many different avenues. I've been able to try new things. I've been able to allow myself the space to be a person. And so this is really for anybody that feels like they made too many mistakes to move forward, that you haven't found the right thing for you, haven't found the right job. And I ain't saying I'm gonna keep the job I have forever, but I'm saying right now it works for me. I'm saying right now it allows me to do the things that I really enjoy. I'm saying that I've found a way to put all my gifts together and teach. That's what I do best. I speak. And that was the thing I've been running from all along, right? So even if you go back to the original part of the story, I knew what I wanted to do from the beginning, but I let people talk me out of it. So there's a few things I want you to get from this. One, you know what you want to do in life. It may not happen how you wanted to, it may not happen when you wanted it to, but it's going to happen. Have faith in that. 2, you can trust yourself. Trust in the journey. Trust in the process. And trust in the tools that God is giving you in the moment. The tool that God's giving right now is my job. Like, it works for me. But the tool was also letting go and not holding on so much to my past. I'm not Ari the marketing strategist anymore. I'm not Ari the publicist. And if I focus so much on trying to be that person this new season, I miss the blessings of today. So what are your blessings of today? And the third thing is that you can start over whenever you want to. You're not too messy for it. You're going to be trained on the job anyway. Whether it's a job, entrepreneurship, whatever it is for you, go after it. Because we may not know what is certain about our lives as far as our plan is, but we do know what skills we have. I know that I'm resourceful. I know that anything you give me, I'm going to get it done. I know I'm teachable. I know that I'm creative. I know that that's not a one-size-fits-all box. So whatever you think you're not good enough for doing, do it. Apply for that job. Talk to that person. Because in every part of this journey, I didn't think I was good enough, but somehow I ended up in these magical experiences. I ended up with different careers. Honor your journey. It's yours. Thank you for listening.